Welcome to the special edition of the Jack Doyle Podcast. We got the off-season edition, and I'm lucky to be joined by the great Anthony Castonzo. AC, how's it going, man? It's great to have you here, and excited to catch up, man.
Yeah, this is great. Like we had talked about, I always knew that your trajectory would end up as a media personality because you were always so gregarious with the media throughout your entire career, and I know you were always just itching to get on camera.
Yeah, I joke with my friends. It's like my resume is I really didn't work in high school. I was, locked in on, sports and football. So it's like Colts player, podcaster. It's like, yeah. I did not see the trajectory of my life going this way, but I'm having a ton of fun doing it, and especially, excited for this and getting to catch up with you, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. So, all right, we'll start here, AC. I always love hearing about, football players and their youth experience and specifically an offensive lineman because, at some point in your life, you fell in love with football, and then at some point you have a coach tell you, hey, you're never going to touch the ball. You're going to be blocking all the time. So, give us a little insight on your kind of youth growing up and falling in love with the game of football.
Yeah, I think my earliest football memory is I would repeat constantly telling my dad that I want to crush the quarterback like Richard Dent. So I grew up in Chicago, so yes. All I wanted to do was crush the quarterback. That was like my dream was there was a quarterback standing back there, I needed to crush him. So obviously you see the irony in that. But it kind of went from that to kind of my next memory is just always having football in my hands. Whether I was watching TV, I was throwing the football up, I was, just constantly playing with it. And my hands actually got really good from that. And my brother was a quarterback and was 4 years older than me, and he could absolutely rifle the ball. So I don't know if this happened to you, but when I was first learning to catch the ball, I would get those giant bruises right here from my brother's passes when I would miss it, and it would just drill me right in the wrist. So I'd have those giant bruises, but all I wanted to do was catch the ball then. So I went from wanting to crush the quarterback to wanting to catch the ball. So obviously, scoring touchdowns and crushing the quarterback were kind of my dreams. And so I tried to play all the other positions. And then once my growth spurt hit around 8th grade-ish, my knees started to hurt. Suddenly I couldn't run as fast as I could when I was little. It was like, hey, why don't you go on the line? It's like, but I could catch the ball really well. And so I was still chasing the tight end dream. Mm-hmm. When I got to high school, actually, we ran the triple option there. I was more of a pocket quarterback also, trying to follow in my brother's footsteps. So I got to high school. I was like, hey, I'm going to try out for quarterback. We ran the triple option. Again, I did not have the linear speed to run the triple option. I found myself at offensive line. I was pretty good at it. The next year, I went out for wide receiver, which, again, we ran the triple option, so all the wide receivers did was stalk block. And I'm like, I might as well be playing offensive line. So, again, found myself back at the offensive line. Finished up high school, had no scholarship offers, ended up going to Fort Union Military Academy, which is my prep school, which kind of changed my life. When I was there, I started out as a tight end, wanted to catch the ball. And about halfway through the year, after I think I had negative yak, so if the ball was there, I'd catch it, but there was nothing happening afterwards. Yeah. You're not getting recruited as a tight end to go to college if you got no yak skills. About halfway through the season, my coach, who I respected greatly, pulled me aside. He's like, "Look, I'm not sure tight end is in the cards for you." He's like, "I think you can make a lot of money someday playing left offensive tackle." And I'm like, all right, I trust you. You've seen a lot of guys do this. I think that'll just be my position from here on out, and kind of the rest is history. So, it was a long journey to finally accept that I was an offensive lineman. But once I did, that definitely became my entire life. And I went from wanting to crush the quarterback to wanting no one to touch him. So it was kind of a funny journey for me.
Yeah, so it sounds like your NFL stats, besides all your pancakes, blocks, and locking people down, week in, week out, you have one catch for one touchdown, and we have your brother to thank, right? So he was throwing the ball hard to you, at a young 100%. Age, and
it wasn't just one catch, one touchdown. It was also one target. So, I mean, it's basically
Oh,
158.3, when throwing to Anthony Castonzo. And my claim to fame for the rest of my life will be that Reggie Wayne was used as a decoy for me so that I could get open to score a touchdown. So that was, that was pretty sweet. But big props to Bill for chucking that ball at me my whole life and throwing it about 100 miles per hour. So I could get those soft hands to score that touchdown.
Oh, that's so great. So brother Bill, good job. Andrew's thanking you as well. I know you used to remind Andrew Luck, we're speaking of, that when you threw my way, perfect passer rating. So maybe we should draw up another one.
I was in Andrew's ear. I was in Sirianni's ear. I was in Pep's ear before Sirianni.
Yes.
I was, I'm like, hey. I mean, long before that, I was in my high school coach's ear. I'm like, hey, I'm 6'7" and I can jump. Just throw me the ball in the red zone and I'll score a touchdown. And didn't really happen until the NFL, so I'll take it.
Yeah, awesome. So, well, let's talk about your career, Anthony, because in my opinion, your career, you were always underappreciated. You didn't get the accolades that probably you deserved. Not that you cared. You cared about how you played week in, week out. But I was always fascinated with how dedicated you were to your craft. And I think it'd be cool for people to hear, just kind of your process. Everyone's got a routine, week in, week out, just kind of how you went through that process to be just, the definition of consistency at left tackle, a very difficult position for a 10-year career.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of starts. I believe that games were won in the off season and in practice, and I thought that by the time you got to the game, nothing should be harder than what you've prepared for. So, right. in my estimation, when I was in the off season, I was working. I wanted there to be nothing that happened in a game that was physically more exerting than what I put myself in the off season, or I wanted to prepare myself for every situation in practice so that when I was doing a rep, it was always at 100%. And I got to give props to my scout team defensive ends that I played against my whole career. Guys who would bring it constantly. I think about my rookie year. Jerry Hughes was trying to earn his spot on the team, and we had battles when he was on the scout team. Early on in my career, Mario Addison, who went on to have a great career in the NFL, was on the scout team. Later on, unfortunately, it didn't work out for Daniel Odongo, but he would bring it every play on scout team. And Jonathan Newsom that same year would bring it. It was just guys. I appreciated. In my estimation, you should hate the guy you're playing against on scout team more than anyone, but you should also deeply love them more than anyone on the team. It's like that relationship was so important to me, and I recognize that you only get so many reps during the week, and if you waste any, it's just going to make it harder for you on Sunday. So yes, practice was extremely important to me. The off season was extremely important. I looked at playing football as my 365 job. So I felt like I owed it to my teammates to take every bit of the off season, every bit of practice as seriously as I could. And I kind of felt like I owed it to myself because it was my dream since I was a kid. So I wanted it to last as long as possible. Yeah.
And AC, people say, or they say, practice is most important and can say the things that you just said, but you truly lived it. Like, there was no brother-in-law going on with you. You weren't ever telling a guy hey, take it easy. My knee's a little banged up. I always admired the way you practice, man. It, like you said, you lived that out and were dedicated to football. Like you said, 365, and it kind of brings me to my next question. And being so locked into your craft, you were known for doing a pass set anywhere and everywhere. I mean, I've seen you do a pass set. I'd be laying in the locker room before game, getting stretched out, and here comes AC, oh crap, you're about to step on me. Or I've seen you do it in the cafeteria. I've seen you do it in the training room. I've seen you do a pass set just about anywhere. So I got to know, when's the last time you did one? And also have to know, where's the weirdest place you've ever done a pass set?
All right, so I did one yesterday. Just because I like to, I watch games and I like to think about what guys are doing and how I would do it differently. It just is like a never-ending problem that I'm just constantly trying to solve to try to figure out what the perfect pass set looks like, what the perfect, like what it all looks like. And so I'm constantly running through to my head. So yeah, yesterday, to answer that question, the weirdest place, I've got two. Like I used to do them in the hallways of the hotel room before I'd always find a spot that had enough space where I could get a good, 5+ kicks in. So hallways of the hotel room. But I've been caught on numerous occasions by whether it was teammates or my wife, whether it was at the facility or at home, doing pass sets in the shower.
Yes, I didn't know if I was allowed to mention that one.
Which I think is a great place to do it, because if you don't have your feet underneath you, you're gonna slip. So you really gotta, and obviously I'm not doing them full speed in there. I'm just trying to get the body position, feel in balance. But yeah, also in talking to my wife, she's like, there's also another really weird place you've done a pass set. I'm like, oh, where's that? So in 2024, we were in Portugal actually with my sister on a trip, and we were at a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Sintra, and there's like I don't know, it's a big castle, so there's like a whole bunch of courtyards and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got a text from a former coach. It was during training camp, and he's like, hey, my left tackle's having issues with this. And he gave me kind of like a rundown of what was going on. He's like, do you have any ideas? And so I'm like, hey, Dominique, my wife, I'm like, and I asked my sister, I'm like, hey, can you film me real quick? And I did a pass set, and Dominique was my pass rusher. My wife was my pass rusher. And I showed in the video, I was kind of explaining to my coach, I'm like, hey, yeah, this is the thing. And, he's got to get his left hand here and kind of drop his weight. And I was showing this stuff. So yes, at a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Portugal is the weirdest place that I've probably done a pass set.
Oh, that's great. And shout out Dominique, because, she was, you said your sister filmed, Dominique rushing on you in Portugal. But Dominique, talking to you at breakfast, is every day while we were playing together, and you'd always say, I had Dominique filming me, so she always had your back and helping you out in that department. So shout out Dominique. That's cool.
But I was deleting videos on my phone not long ago, and the number of videos of me doing pass sets in my underwear before bed on my phone is ludicrous. Like,
it's awesome.
The number of pass sets that I did right before bed is just, yeah. I mean, you could probably call it pretty confidently a legitimate obsession. Obviously it doesn't consume me like it used to when I was playing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an imperfect problem, like you said, and trying to perfect it in the pursuit of that is I think, what you always enjoyed about it. But all right, so you're a retired player now, and there's so many things you miss as a retired player, just things you can't replicate in the real world, just being around your teammates, and you think of the meals and, just like getting in a huddle. I mean, I miss getting in a huddle. What are some of the things you miss post-career that you don't get to do anymore?
I mean, I don't know if I could say this, but the number one thing is, like, somebody makes you mad, you just use violence. There isn't anywhere in the real world where, like, you solve problems with violence like that. Like,
you get arrested.
Yeah, right. You get arrested. So, like, it's encouraged and it's legal, and it's a freeing thing. And I think it's what a lot of people who played football, it's why we fell in love with the game. Just kind of being able to do that. So, I mean, like, that is, it's really a good release on a daily basis. I'm not only hitting, but getting hit. It's weird to say, but, like, I miss someone running into me at full speed. Like, I don't know. I guess we're not mentally healthy individuals playing the sport of football, but yeah, that's kind of something that I miss on a regular basis. But, like, yeah, just like the hilarious conversations also the night before games at the snack. I know you mentioned one of your favorite things is just watching me. Another one of my weird routines where I'd get my ice cream, pour some milk in it, and essentially hand stir a milkshake. I mean, it used to take me a good 15 minutes at pregame snack I had all the fixings in there and to just hand mix. It's truly a new definition of the hand dipped milkshake.
Oh, I mean, we had so many great snack memories.
Yep.
You're just it's just you're there with guys who are feeling the same thing, right? We all have a pit in our stomach. We're high stressed.
Yeah.
You're kind of like you just went through a hard week of preparation. You put all the work in. You're kind of slap happy a little bit, getting ready for a game. And yes, I loved watching you whip that milkshake, or your ice cream into a milkshake, and the force you would use. I'm surprised a couple bowls and spoons didn't go down, but yeah, it's a little things like that. The behind the scenes that they definitely you miss. So what hobbies are you up to now? You're trying to find a way to have people run into you. It sounds like.
Yep.
But what do you got going on post career?
So in that same vein, since I've stopped playing, I've taken up snowboarding. It's like
Nice.
You wipe out like I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna do snowboarding, not skiing, because skiing your legs go two different ways. Like I'm not used to that happening. But like snowboarding, you wipe out, your shoulder hits the ground, whatever, like your body hits. I'm like, I'm pretty okay with that. Like, so yeah, that's kind of something. It's like, it's dangerous, but it's not too dangerous. Like I can manage, like I can decide how dangerous it is, which I like. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that in the winter. I've been, I mean, you know this, but I've been writing a script for a video game for years. I call it my 50-year plan, trying to single-handedly write, draw, and eventually maybe program a video game to be released in like 2060. So keep an eye out for that.
So cool. Oh, yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah. So you found something, because people are always like, oh, who hit you the hardest when you were playing? Or, what safety, what linebacker? And it's like, the ground. The ground hit me the hardest because once you get hit by the guy, you hit that ground, it doesn't move. So, I'd love to see you coming down a mountain. I'm sure people are getting out of your way as you come flying down.
Oh, let me tell you, it gets frustrating because there's some people who are really good and they come down a lot faster than I do.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, if you run into me, it's gonna be worse, like for you. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun though.
Oh, that's awesome. So how are you getting your football fix now? Because I think it's all as retired players. I always say this. You played 10 years, I played 9 years, and it was our prime years when people are choosing their career, or they're going to school to be a doctor. So I always joke like we got a PhD in football, and then
sure.
you don't, then you have to find ways to use it. So how are you getting your football fix now, and kind of filling that void?
Well, I'm watching every game. I mean, I got my TV, I've got my computer, I've got like 2 iPads, I got my phone, so I'm watching multiple games at once. I try to just watch. I mean, and when I'm watching the games, I'm not watching the games. I'm watching the offensive line. So particularly the tackles, I like to watch. How they. I like to look for body positions. Is this guy driving through his quads, or is he extending his hips too early? Like, could this guy use some more ankle strengthening in the offseason? It's just like I look at it as like a problem that could possibly be solved. And like I said, that coach who had texted me when I was in Portugal, I've talked to a few of my old coaches and kind of helped out some guys. When that brings me more joy than I can explain, because I wish that when I was a rookie or a second year player, I had me now to tell me all the things that I know. Like it's just, and so, yeah, I mean, I'd really like to be able to help out guys. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how I can do it. There's more problems than just, I have information in my mind and I give to the person. Like there's kind of the semantics of it. I don't really know, but I'm basically constantly taking mental notes on what guys are doing right now in the playoffs. I've noticed a pandemic of young left tackles punching off of their outside foot instead of kind of sinking their hips and like wrestling with guys. They're trying to punch guys, and they create this post with their outside foot, and defensive ends are getting right around them. And I'm like, I just want to help you. Like I was there. I just want to help you. Yeah. So hopefully I can figure out some way to kind of be able to do that.
Yeah. Just listening to that, I think people can tell how great you would be at it. Yeah. It's like, you'd love to have a consulting firm or start something like that. Again, like you don't know how that looks, and I feel like a lot of guys feel very similar to you and just wanting to help because, football, to get better at football, as we know, it takes reps, right? And reps, and then that's obviously going to take something out of you. And your body, it feels like once you start to figure out football, your body starts going, right? And then you can't, practice
right. It's like
you
could just,
what you figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just mesh it all together. All right, so let's get your thoughts on the Colts. You say you're just watching offensive line play, so let's go there. Talk to me about the current state of the Colts offensive line and your thoughts on them.
So I'm happy to say that I don't have to lie that I think it's good.
Yes.
They've got pieces in place. They've got good young talent. I'll kind of just go from left to right. I mean, I absolutely watch Bernard a lot. I really like the way that he plays. He's rarely out of balance. I think the key, what I discovered as a left tackle getting later on in my career, the key is to never get beat cleanly. Mm-hmm. You get beat cleanly as a left tackle. That's the sack fumble. That's the stuff that literal nightmare. I legitimately still have nightmares about stuff like that.
Waking up in a cold sweat. Yeah.
Yeah. Or my wife wakes me up because I'm screaming in my sleep and it's like, oh yeah, I was giving up a sack again, something like that. So you rarely, if ever, see Bernard get beat cleanly. So I love watching him play. Obviously I think Quentin had his best year this year, probably since 2019, in terms of pass blocking. He was like a wall in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I really, really enjoyed watching him play. The two young guys, Bortolini and Gonsalves, I think both have a lot of promise. They're young. They've got growing to do, but you kind of can tell if a guy's got it or if he doesn't got it. And I think both of those good. Sorry, you hear something in the background. My dog rolling around like a maniac over there.
I don't hear it. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, those two guys both. I think they've got it. They move people in the run game. They're stout in the pass game. And obviously Braden's been there forever, but he's a free agent this year. And I don't know what they're going to do with Braden. Braden, he's obviously coming off of an injury. You were talking about me being underappreciated. I think Braden Smith is one of the most underappreciated players in the NFL. I watch games constantly. No offensive line, maybe a couple guys, like I'm thinking like maybe like a Penei Sewell, can physically move a person from point A to point B against their will like Braden Smith can in the run game. Like it is, I think if you were to ask Jonathan Taylor, like how much does Braden Smith mean to the run game, I think he'd give you a pretty confident answer because he absolutely ejects people. So if he does leave in free agency, that'll be a big hole to fill. And I liked what I saw to Travis. I mean, he plays really well. Again, he's going to have to get low and he's going to have to drive because to fill the shoes of Braden Smith is a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shout out Braden, like you said, he's been doing that since, he got locked into that right tackle position. And I remember him just like, even in practice, just really pissing off our defensive linemen because they didn't know what to do. He gets his hands on you, and like you said, just moves you against your will. I mean, he's just a stud. He's a stud. So like you said, hopefully he's back. But then here we've been closing out these podcasts with a basketball question, right? Basketball gets debated a lot in an NFL locker room, and I've been asking. Mo was my first guest on the podcast, so I've been asking guys, could they beat Mo Alley Cox one-on-one in basketball? And if so, how would you do it?
I know. I couldn't beat Mo one-on-one because his strength is my strength, which is being physical down on the block. So, like, I'm not going to be able to, like, that he's better at that than I am. So, yeah, let's just I'd probably just be trying to pop threes and hopefully they'll go in. But, I'm not beating Mo in a legitimate game of basketball. So, hats off to you, Mo.
Yeah, so you'd be the Cinderella story, right? We're jacking up threes.
Exactly. Like, hey, this guy's got no business jacking up threes. Like, okay, so that's pretty much my only shot.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, AC, this was a lot of fun, man. It felt like I said, it felt like we were back at the snack table the night before game, getting to a little slap happy and have a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yep. Thanks for listening, guys.